Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because it is time to batten down the hatches. And before we get into everything, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold. And I want to thank two men out there that are subscribers and that are huge fans. They created the TikTok account called iAllegedly Shorts. And if you guys have not seen this, if you're on TikTok, they take these videos every day and they slice and dice and cut them up and make them entertaining, make them better than what I do. So I want to thank everybody over at iAllegedly Shorts on TikTok. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now, let's get into it. First things first is Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, the former CEO of Amazon, steps forward this week, and he was on CNBC, and he says it's time to batten down the hatches for the economy and for businesses. Now, here's the interesting thing. The guy's a former CEO, so you'd normally say, that's no big deal. No, it is a big deal because the company and the current CEO shares the exact same sentiment, and they are convinced that right now we're going to experience something that we've never experienced in any of our lifetimes. We're going to see things in a depressionary state that you have never seen before. Now, Amazon, when you think about this, just look at the company. They have canceled right now, I think it's 26 different warehouses for merchandise and goods and distribution centers of various types. Some are cold storage, some are just regular warehouses that just hold dry merchandise. But they have canceled over 24 that I know of right now. That is astronomical. But when you read this article from CNBC below, the thing that's fascinating about this, that's utterly amazing, is the newscaster from CNBC, I won't even say this jackass's name, talking about how the economy's great and there's nothing to be worried about and we shouldn't be concerned and the likelihood of an economic downturn is unlikely. Well, please understand, if you guys want to believe this, if you want to believe that there is no worry, then drink the Kool-Aid and live your life that way, because it's insanity to think that way, guys. Is this the sailing school? Yeah, this is cool. Sailing school pulling the boats by. Kind of fun to see. They're going to tow the boats out, and then they teach them in certain areas what to do. It's kind of cool. Kind of fun to see something different like that. Do you really believe that things are good right now? Seriously. Again, I know people who know people, okay? One friend I was talking to, as I was driving to shoot this video, and I couldn't wait to share this story, was he has somebody who is completely clueless to the outside world, doesn't watch TV, doesn't watch the news, but owns a very successful construction company and has one major client, which is a hospital. This hospital is doing nothing but spending money with this guy to where this guy has nothing to worry about. Oh, we want to build a fence here. Oh, by the way, the hospital owns many hospitals. So, oh, we want to build a fence here. We want to repave our front. We want to expand this location. So it's just constant construction to the tune that this guy doesn't have to worry about work, doesn't have to worry about money, doesn't have to worry about anything, because he's got a stack of it about this high. And, when that room fills up, he fills up the other room with it. So crazy, okay? But this guy is like, there's nothing wrong with the economy. Are you kidding? People are good. People are working. My guys are working. I can't get people to work hard enough. There are people that live this lifestyle that think that it's like that. But when you talk to the average person who cannot afford food, who, when you look at the UK and you look at the lies that they're being told that inflation is only 10%, man, I'm telling you, talk to anybody in the UK, talk to friends of friends, and you will get the truth. You will get the same thing in Canada, which everything is at the absolute highest that it's ever been. And we're supposed to believe that inflation is, not a problem. The economy's not a problem. Everything's going to be good. Now, on the other hand, if you talk to Elon Musk when it comes to Tesla's full steam ahead. We're going to go pedal to the metal. And then there's another article below where Elon Musk is talking about that, where he's saying that there's not a care in the world and Tesla's going to continue with production and all they're going to do is make everything and move forward. So crazy. If you believe that, that's just very, very two different ways of looking at things, and very, very interesting to say the least. The other thing with Tesla, which I love this part, is as Elon Musk, it looks like he's going to close on Twitter because they did the stock lockdown. People that are employees that own Twitter shares right now are barred from selling them right now, which is very common when you have the stock lockdown for a company. Just really common. So that's what's happening right now. But Elon Musk, there's memos and things like that right now that he said he's going to fire 75% of the people that currently work at Twitter. Uh-oh. So he's going to take it private. They're going to get a check. Have a nice day. That'll be the end of it. So very, very fascinating when this happens and how it's going to take place. But again, everybody that talks to me about their electric cars, all they talk about is how expensive they are. They don't sit there and say, this is the greatest investment. No one talks about that. No one talks about how it was the greatest purchase. I have heard of people that buy used cars. I was in an Uber today and talking to the Uber driver, talking about what a great deal, how he constantly looks for used Mercedes and used BMWs to use for Uber and buys them as cheap as possible, and has nothing but good things with those cars, and has 4 cars that he rotates when he drives. Clearly a successful guy doing it, so it's kind of fascinating. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. The Fed has this plan to fix the economy and solve the inflation problem by continuing to raise rates. We all know that this is going to do nothing and it's not going to work. You need to look at alternatives right now. And that alternative is a 401k or IRA that's backed by physical silver or physical gold through Patriot Gold Group. You can call 1-888-330-1431 and get your free investor guide. Now think about this. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, now JP Morgan have stepped forward and said, listen, the economy is a huge problem. We need to worry about where we're at and where we're headed, and you need to look at what's going to be best for you and for your family. The best thing that I can think of is a 401k or IRA that's backed by metals. Let's face it, guys, there is no other way to beat inflation. Metals have stood the test of time. You need to get yourself in a 401k or IRA backed by physical metals with Patriot Gold before it's too late. They have a no-fee IRA, no-fee 401k, and you can do a rollover from your existing IRA with no tax liability. Call them today, 888-330-1431. Let them know that I allegedly sent you guys. It's absolutely free, no obligation, but do this before it's too late, guys. Check out Patriot Gold. They are a great company. Please take a look at them. And the next thing is Bank of America. Bank of America has issued a warning in regards to the liquidity with the U.S. Treasuries. Again, guys, you can sit there and say, Dan, I've never bought a U.S. Treasury. I don't care if they go above 4.5%. I don't care if they go to 8% for the 10 years Treasury. You need to understand the problem with this. The liquidity of our banks and the fact that the banks do not have the money that they say that they do, and that the financial system is going to absolutely melt down in front of us. It's going to happen. And people sit there and say, well, how does it affect me? Well, it affects each and every one of us. Every aspect of our lives is ran through credit. Now, not necessarily that you borrow money, but understand the financial system. Banks right now lend gas stations money. Gas stations need to pay for gas on credit. Pay for it. You don't pay it in time, you're going to have interest charges, things like that. Now imagine if that got shut off and you had no access to your bank account, you had no access to your checking account. You would be completely upside down. And this is going to happen, but it's going to happen in such a way that everything is going to stop as we know it financially. You will not be able to use your credit cards. You will not be able to use your debit cards. You will not be able to buy anything at all if this happens. And the problem with this is the spiking 10-year bond, 10-year treasury note that's going up is the catalyst to this, because We've had an inverted yield curve for about 2 months now. This is crazy. You know, if you think about this, you look through history, when you get an inverted yield curve for a week, week and a half, wow, it usually means a recession's coming. We're in a recession, guys. We're absolutely in a recession. All of these prognosticators from CNBC and MSNBC and everybody else, hey, listen, the economy's good, people have jobs, things are great. It's not. The real estate market has taken such a dive right now. And yes, we've seen interest rates. And that's the other thing. The rich construction contractor said, hey, I've seen home mortgages above 7%. It's no big deal. Yeah, but the difference was from the house that the guy lives in now at $1.5 million. Okay, nice. Okay, his last house that he bought with the 7% mortgage had a $150,000 mortgage on it. There's a big difference to this. So if you guys don't get this and you don't see the instability of all this stuff, it is crazy. But Bank of America, Mark Cabana, one of the head of economics, is saying that the liquidity issue is a huge, huge problem and that people need to take a look at this because we're going to wake up and we're not going to have this, we're not going to have a banking system. And, oh, damn, Mr. Doom and Gloom, look at Jeff Bezos, okay? Look at this guy. Batten down the hatches. Get ready. Be ready. That's enough. It's enough. Everybody should be concerned about that, and you should live your life this way. I am telling you, when I think I have enough cash, I realize I don't. When I think I have enough gold and silver, I don't. Somebody wrote me today, did a comment, and then they wrote me, had to do an email to really push their point home that was sent to me from the team, and that was, listen, Dan, when you start talking about silver, it was $30. Now it's at 18. It's what, should I keep going until it gets down to 8? And just, smart aleck. Okay, I'm being polite here. Guys, the problem with it is the most undervalued asset in the world, in the globe, on the globe, is silver. Silver has so many industrial uses that you don't even realize. And if you ever thought about this, you'd say, there's not enough silver. The paperback silver is ridiculous. It's a joke. The price of silver has been suppressed by JP Morgan, and eventually, someday, it's going to pop. Now, you can go buy gold. You can go buy anything you want. Go buy tulips. I hear they're hot right now. Do whatever you want, okay? But look at something that you're going to be comfortable with as an alternative outside of this system that's not debt related. Now, debt and money is a tool. It buys real estate. It buys assets. It can buy equipment. The Economic Ninja talks about how he was flipping tractors and large scale machinery like that. And it took money to do that. It took debt. Borrow money, buy it, flip it, make more money, sell it, pay off the loan, and put the rest of the money in his pocket. It's kind of cool, these public docks out here that you can plant yourself on. A lot of times you'll see fishermen out here. I wouldn't fish out here because every time I fish, I want to eat something, and I wouldn't want to eat anything that's, drinking boat water, if you know what I mean. So share your thoughts on all this stuff so far, guys. You have to look at real estate and how it's affecting absolutely everything. September was an awful month. Sales were down 10%, listings are off, and now we're seeing mortgage rates advertised 7.37%. That is insane, guys. This is catastrophic. This is such a huge number and so bad and so negative right now for the entire economy. Now, again, certain things affect other things. Real estate affects all of us because it affects construction. It affects the developers. It affects everybody from the remodelers, people that do furniture. Everything is affected by real estate. One thing that I'm doing next week is I'm going to Las Vegas to talk to one of the real estate agents out there that's really in the know, Denise, and we're going to spend some time looking at some of the properties and how they're just dropping to the floor right now. So it is one of the hottest markets. It was. Now it's not. It's going to be one of the first markets to drop substantially. So it'll be really exciting to go to Vegas. And if you guys want to hook up, we may do a meet and greet there next week. So reach out. if anybody's going to be in the Las Vegas area early to mid next week. Okay. Now, the next thing, Thanksgiving. You know, we're going to talk about this more later on this month. This is going to be the most expensive Thanksgiving in any of our lives. Now, here's the thing. Will you be able to get butter? Think about butter, huh? What do you mean you can't get butter? We talked about that earlier in the week, that's a real problem. How about turkey prices are up 73%? And 73%. That is crazy. Plus, there's a turkey shortage right now. So you're going to see turkeys, less of them available right now than they have been in the past. I had an old girlfriend that her mother, now guys, this is 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago maybe, and her mom would get the newspapers, look at all the different ads for turkeys, and drive from store to store to store. And look, somebody made a big sand sculpture, Elon Musk. He's going to buy Twitter. Anyways, so she would go from store to store to store to get the best deal and the best turkeys and the best value and the plumpest, and she wanted with so many pounds and things like this. And I sat there and I'm like, don't you realize how much gas you're wasting and how expensive that is? And she was furious. Okay, that's why it didn't work out, because I think I pissed her mom off. Anyways, so needless to say, she was wasting money to go look and shop, and didn't appreciate my idea of trying to save a little money. And the next thing is pumpkin spice, okay? Everything is pumpkin spice. Do you know the products that are pumpkin spice are generally 14% more expensive than everything else? And again, I was it was the deja vu, going down memory lane, thinking of another girlfriend when I was younger who had a thing for pumpkin spice. She was very pretty. She looked like Courtney Cox, but she had a propensity for pumpkin spice and lobster and was too expensive. So anyways, I broke up with her, and I enjoyed that so very much when I did that. It was really, really a good one, and I really enjoyed that. As I got older, like 30 years later, we ran into each other and got together again, and I realized she wanted to go to Starbucks and wanted pumpkin spice, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, oh, that's right. You like pumpkin spice and you're crazy. So needless to say, it didn't work out again. Okay. So share your thoughts on that, because I think that, oh man, you know, pumpkin pasta's out now. The pumpkin spaghetti sauce. Oh man, come on. Where do you guys draw the line with this stuff? Do you guys like this stuff? Share your thoughts on all this. Let me know. You know, pumpkin pasta. Oh. Anyways, I digress, and I'm getting totally sidetracked. Okay? Share your thoughts, guys. Wow, there is so much happening right now. And I appreciate everybody that's calling on the hotline, the Ask Dan line. People are trying to reach out. They're sending news stories. Best way to send the news stories is clearly, you know, a description and the email to iAllegedly@gmail. That's the best place to do that. But I appreciate everybody that's calling into 714-987-2433. 987-2433. That's awesome. Marilyn called and sent over stories, and you know, I'm looking at this and researching this because what I found publicly right now is alarming. Right now in the country, it looks like we only have 25 days worth of diesel fuel on the Northeast right now. Okay, guys, everything's ran from diesel fuel. All the delivery trucks, trains, so many things that we just don't even think about right now. So we've got to have more diesel fuel, and this is going to be an absolute huge problem. But Marilyn also sent me, and you can read the story about no diesel fuel in the video description, but what Marilyn sent me, which was really, really alarming, was how there is heating oil shortages. She is in the oil industry, and she's calling to order for her customers. She works for a large client, large contractor that uses this, and I can't say the name. The point is that there's no heating oil. There is no kerosene. There is nothing right now available, and it will not be available for weeks. Guys, you know, they don't live in California, guys. Each day, each week, it gets colder and colder and colder, and these people need this to heat and cool their homes. You're hearing that here. You're not hearing it anyplace else. So, I know big problems with this stuff, guys. The other thing, that the story that keeps giving is the banking story. And the banking story that keeps giving is Bank of America. We'll start with them. When you used to go to Bank of America and make a deposit, if you had a respectable account, in other words, you didn't have to have a lot of money in the account, they would give you instant credit of up to $300 the second you made an ATM deposit. Cash, you know, whatever. They used to give you immediate credit for cash. Now, cash can take not tomorrow, not tonight at midnight, but the next day. It can take 2 days now for cash to be credited to the account. Why would anybody go to an ATM and deposit cash? And again, I understand the banking hours are getting cut, you know, more and more and more to where there's less and less banking hours. But guys, this is getting to the point that you cannot operate your life. They're doing holds on checks now and doing partial holds and daily holds based on the size of your account. And again, these are not people that write me and tell me this that are degenerates. They don't bounce checks left and right. They're not those people. These are people that have a substantial amount of money in the bank, have good incomes, have solid relationships for decades with Bank of America, go to make a deposit, and now let's say the check is $2,000. We're going to give you $200 tomorrow. We'll give you $1,200 the next day, and the final $600 will be left over till the end. This gets alarming, and people need to look at this. And again, you tell everybody. You know, we talked about the bank bail-ins and them sucking our money away and out of the accounts. And people are saying, oh, this could only happen if you had more than $250,000. Well, look at Greece. Look at all these other countries that are this happening to. Lebanon has people so upset that they're robbing their banks to get their own money out of the accounts. And this is happening more and more and more. So it's not just people that have more than 250 grand in the account or the equivalent in other currencies. This is alarming. But the biggest thing is the heating oil. You know, think about this, guys. If the banking system goes down, gas pumps will not work. Nothing will work. You know, one thing that my brother beats into my head, always drive around with a full tank of gas, which not everybody can do. And I'm not doing that right now, but you've got to have gas, because what if you couldn't get gas? What would the world look like? You know, the Hurricane Ian situation, that is crazy, guys, that people were going through that for such a long period of time. No cell coverage. Plus, you know, I was talking to Mike today, and one thing he told me about the cell towers, which I did not know. You know, we're talking about the satellite phones and how great those are. The cool thing about the satellite phones is that as the cell towers go down, cell towers have a battery life basically of about 4 to 6 hours, depending on where they're located and things like that. Well, what happens if you have a shutdown that's longer than that? Then you got no cell coverage. So people need to take a look at this. So, another beautiful sand sculpture. That's the one thing cool. If I could ever get out to the sand castle contest out here, that is crazy. That's really worth seeing. There's a lot of things that are very concerning. And first thing is Los Angeles may not have enough water to last even a few months right now. And there's a great story below from SF Gate about how Mayor Garcetti toured the LA reservoir, and he said it was the lowest he'd ever seen, and you could basically see the bathtub ring around it. But all these plans that LA did for water capture, to save water, to conserve water, has not worked because there's no rain and there's no desalination plant in LA, and that's what they need, to be honest with you. The next thing is a food shortage. Another great article, and Michael Snyder talked about how we're going to see a food shortage in 2023, and I completely agree with this. And when you look at, you know, the European countries that create fertilizer, 2/3 of them are not creating fertilizer right now. That's crazy. And then when you look at all the problems with Ukraine and Russia and the fish industries that are completely decimated. Now, when everybody thinks of Russia, they think of caviar, but they're two of the largest fish exporters in the entire world right now. So that's done, guys. That's not gonna take place, and you're gonna see shortages for food. So, you know, people need to get ready for this, and they need to have food on hand. And the final thing is there's a woman out of Hadley, Massachusetts, and her name is Rory Woods, and she's amazing. She was going to get evicted. You know, it was very sad. They've been trying to evict her for a couple years now, and they finally got the eviction notice to where they could serve it on the house, and they were going to evict her. Now, Rory is a beekeeper. So Rory, this is an awesome story, pulls up and the sheriffs are evicting her, and she immediately opens up all the beehives that she has on the vehicle and agitates the bees to where the bees take off and go after the sheriffs. I mean, is that awesome? Is that just... She made a wall of bees where she got it on her arm and carried it. Look at this, I'm doing this with the guy on the paddleboard. A wall of bees to stop the sheriffs. Eventually, she was arrested, and at her arraignment, she pled not guilty. But never dated a beekeeper before, guys. If you guys, I just think that's crazy, and I think that that's awesome. And again, how come there's no video? If you guys ever get anything good and you get any good video, share it. Maybe it'll end up on iAllegedly Shorts too. So again, thank you to Patriot Gold for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys one and all for being here. Please do not forget to the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. And if you're on TikTok, check out iAllegedly, but more importantly, check out iAllegedly Shorts, because those guys are incredibly talented. Okay? Onward and upward, guys. I will see you very soon.